Okay, 18, discussion about LAUSD Board President Kelly Gomez's decision to turn down board member Scott Schmerlson's request to reinstate parent engagement and special education committees. At the annual meeting of the board, after the new board member was seated, Kelly was voted unanimously as the president. One of her first things and first actions, she stated that they would not be reinstating the committees that had been suspended when the schools closed down for COVID. Scott Schmerlson requested that his committees, which are the parent engagement and the special education committees, be allowed to restart. So to give parents a voice, and that decision was turned down. The reason given was that the district staff is too busy and that would take away their time. So discussion on that? My feeling is that those are the two most important committees at this point in time, especially with COVID. Parents really need to have a say in not only how things are running remotely, but when we go back to physically attending schools, those committees are a way for parents to give voices. And then as far as the special education committee, kids with special education needs have been highly affected by distance learning. So they should also be given a voice at this point. Betsy?
Yeah, I have a question. Were alternatives explored to manage this committee or to manage this parent engagement and special ed committee? Because it's not an excuse. It's not a rationale to say, I'm sorry, we're too busy, when you have a committee that really is significant, that really is important.
Yeah, there was no discussion on the item. Scott simply asked whether it would be reinstated. She said no, unless he can come up with a majority of board votes.
I still don't think that's not a rationale. So I mean, it's not on you, but for her, it's not a rationale. It's a flimsy excuse. That's just my opinion.
I totally agree with your opinion. Especially in the times we are in.
Yeah. Out of everything right now, it's, as you were saying, it's highly critical because the social interaction and social boundaries that these children would normally experience are not there. And so parent engagement is critical, and special ed, I mean, perhaps they have no idea about developmental issues with children, normal or otherwise. Perhaps that's foreign territory for this Miss Kelly Gomez. And I am being sarcastic. I mean, there are some things that really concern me when it comes to childhood education, and whether it's the pure education experience or the social part of that, or the combination of the social interaction and the educational experience. It doesn't matter, but there are some things that are really critical, and you can't just sort of dispense something because you feel, well, you're too busy. You find a way, you give it to somebody else.
Just to clarify, she wasn't saying the board was too busy. It was the staff was too busy to support the board members having it. Also on special ed, she also felt that was important for the whole board to consider. And like this committee can only have 3 board members on it. They can only have 3 board members at a time on that committee. But there's also, in my opinion, ways to get around that. For instance, they could do a revolving membership In any case, they could discuss things at the committee level and then bring it to the entire board, what they find.
So is this permanently dispensed with, or is this just on hold until they can reconstitute their consideration and actions?
She put it on hold through the end of the semester to be reconsidered again during the summer.
Okay, okay.
Any comments from the public? Okay, can you get that?
Ralph,
Go ahead.
okay, Ralph, unmute yourself. You have the-
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes. What's the purpose of the meeting?
The purpose of the committee meetings,
Yeah.
the two different committees, parent engagement is just ways of getting parents involved. Special education is it's a different theme every meeting, and it was basically then also updates from the special education division, but also a way for parents to express their concerns.
Okay. How many parents would participate?
There were several on the committee, and then it would just vary by meeting.
But it's open to the general public.
Yes.
Okay. But it doesn't sound like it's participated by the public in the whole.
Yeah, it's just like any other public meeting, just like the public's invited to these meetings.
Okay. I would think the teachers would be the ones that would be the best voice since they deal with the children all the time.
There's also teachers on the committee.
Okay.
The committee's devised of some board members, staff from the special education division, some special education teachers, and I believe also aides, and then parents.
But I'm saying the teachers would be the ones that are in direct working relationship with the parents and be able to be a voice of the parents if there's issues, since they're on Zoom with them every day.
Right, for individual parents, yes, but that doesn't take into account, district-wide issues or issues that are happening across the spectrum.
I thought this is a place for parents to be involved. I'm a little bit lost on what the purpose is.
Yeah,
it's to make them feel if they have a problem with special ed that they're able to voice their opinion, right?
Right. So just like any other public meeting, they can make public comment, or they could comment on what is being discussed at the meeting.
Okay. But wouldn't the teachers reflect that too, just through the administration, since they're working with them every day if there's problems going on?
Yeah, on an individual basis, yes, but
Okay.
teachers would not necessarily be involved. Well, they could be involved also. That they would also be able to be involved in these meetings.
Okay.
Scott holds them after school hours so that teachers and students can be involved.
Okay. It just doesn't sound like a lot of people show up. It seems like a lot of time to go over meetings that not a lot of people show up. Just like the board meetings are pretty limited.
Well, you can get hundreds of people showing up at board meetings.
Okay. How many 200 show up to this, or?
Again, it depends on what issues are being discussed.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. But in the era of Zoom, that could also change also. The Zoom has made, these meetings more accessible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.